Hey guys, it's Jaden, and welcome back. Today we're talking about, obviously, Star Trek Discovery, Season 3, Episode 4, Forget Me Not. And, again, hitting it out of the park in my opinion, truly, honestly. But before I really get into how I really feel about this episode, just give you a little rundown. Essentially, the episode starts with Hugh really giving us his take on everything, on his time moving in a space for 1,000 years. And it's very interesting because he's really detailing a lot of things about the crew. And it seems like this season essentially is really going to focus on the crew itself. I'm not saying in past seasons they haven't, but like I said before, when I mentioned the fact I didn't know Dimmer's name until literally the season, they really didn't. You just saw these players, you saw these background players, but we were always playing to this whole thing about like Ash Tyler, or what is Giorgio up to this week? Oh my God, Burnham's mother. And it's really nice to have more of a self-contained story about the people that are on the ship, besides people in rotation in orbit of Burnham and her decisions. And I think that is a big difference. She's still obviously the sun in this entire series, but it's a really big difference compared to the prior seasons and things we've been doing. I will say Hugh's memories and everything that he said really does benefit from the previous seasons, and having that, I think that if you're new to it, you probably don't appreciate what they've been through together and all their stories and everything that they've told. But nonetheless, they have to get the Trill info. They need to know exactly where the Federation is, and that's what Adira is bringing to the table. Star Trek has done Trill before. They've been to Trill. We've had a lot of Trill. Jax I cannot say her name right now. Worf's wife. When I tell you sadness overcame me in her death. Dax did not deserve to go out like that. I mean, well, Dax moved to Ersey, or her, the girl that started messing with the British man. Well, the Indian man. Dr. Bashir. His name's Bashir. So, anyway, off to Trill. So they basically get on Trill, and essentially they're greeted by Ronnie from Schitt's Creek and a couple more envoys. The yellow envoy's oh, you're a human? Oh, you have the Trill host with you? Oh, okay. And we also get this little detail about how the burn basically decimated their species, which understandably so. But also they don't have enough viable hosts to really basically put symbiotes in people, and this could be something that can really help. That's what the red guy says. I'm gonna call him red guy because I was not learning their names for one episode, people. No. So red guy was hey, she could totally be the key to our species basically surviving. Yellow guy was no. Ronnie said no. Get off my planet. They then tried to kidnap Burnham and just Adira when they were trying to go back to their ship, and Burnham said, "Oh, I think not." Boom, 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 pow, 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 pow. And yeah, Burnham then forced the red guy to take him to the caves, water pond thing. Honestly, sometimes it's over me. The point is, it was a plot device, so I didn't really care too much. She gets in the water, and the water's supposed to connect her with her memories, basically to have that communion of her different lives. And they end up getting caught a little bit, but then she falls underwater. It was a bit much, but basically inside the communion, she has to basically relive her memory of getting the host, and that is when basically Adira is accepted by not the host, the symbiote. That's when Adira is accepted by the symbiote named Tal. Essentially, Adira's backstory is that she lived on a generation ship with her boyfriend Greg. I'm calling him Greg because I could not understand exactly if it was Gray or Greg, so I'm going to call him Greg. So her boyfriend Greg and her were together forever, and then her boyfriend Greg was a Trill. He accepted the symbiote. He started changing a little bit. She was having trouble accepting those changes. Adira made him this nice little quilt, and it was beautiful, detailing their entire story. And then that is when the meteor attacked. The meteor basically burst into their room on the ship, and Greg died right there. But the symbiote was was gonna die They didn't want that to happen, so Adira took it. And that's when that happened. It was really sad, really painful, but at the end, Adira got access to all her memories. Her name is now Adira Tal. We're loving it for her. Rock that new identity. We love that for you. Meanwhile, on the ship, Saru was just out here trying to be a captain, and he was like, hey, we got some problems. You know, we got some problems going up in here. And Saru's like, what are you talking about? Which, I know, Saru's new to this actually being the captain. Like, he's always having to run from left to right. But finally, like, you can actually sit and be, and now it's a situation like, okay, we need to take care of your mental health. Like, I feel like the crew is really just on edge, and they're always ready for a fight, and, like, always on edge, because they really have not, they've been working nonstop, basically. So, you know, Saru's like, I wonder what we can do to really figure this out. And then he's talking to the system, trying to get some relaxation tips or something like that. That's really gonna bridge the community between like the crew. And I suspected there was this weird voice then all of a sudden took over the computer system, and I was suspecting, I was like, that's a little weird. But I was suspecting that it was the spear data, basically. Which I was later found out to be proven true. So it was the spirit data basically giving him like, hey, you should probably give them the night off and have a dinner and watch a movie. And when Saru said, a night off, I don't know why. That made me laugh. Comedy gold right there. So then after that, he does have the dinner. He gives the crew the night off. He has a dinner with like senior leadership of the vessel, basically main characters. And you know, it starts out good. He tries to make them remember of their sacrifice, and that honestly kind of backfires just a tad bit, because, you know, after, you know, Giorgio giving a nice haiku, basically Dimmer just kind of snaps. And we already know, like, Dimmer's having some troubles, and she needs to really have a conversation and talk to somebody about it. But she snaps, and she snaps on Stamets because Stamets thinks he's the most important person on the ship, which what she said was not true. He literally does. Like, the differences between Stamets and like his mirror universe counterpart are not that different. Like, in terms of personality, in terms of ambition, they're different. But like personality wise, they're both arrogant buttholes. Like, that's just the truth. They think that they're right on every single situation. And the fact of the matter is that Stamets is not right all the time. But he doesn't give credit to anyone else because he thinks he's the smartest person in the room. And Dimmer pointed that out and was like, yo, dude, stop it. And he's like, I am the most important. I got us here. It's like, well, I'm a pilot. I landed the ship. And then he just starts getting catty and snappy. I was like, okay, we got to stop this. And then Tilly's like, y'all acting like y'all the only ones who lost something. What is wrong with y'all? Eventually, it actually ended up working. Stamets actually apologized to Tilly because they were asked to work on, early in the episode, they were asked to work on a non-human interface for the spore drive. And Tilly gave a great idea, and Stamets was like, no. He's just like that. And I'm going to be honest, Tilly should have been promoted right there. Like, why don't they promote Tilly? It just doesn't make any sense. I'm on a promote Tilly campaign because there's no reason why this girl is still an ensign at all. At all. There's no reason. But whatever. I'm going to digress on that. Stamets actually listens to Tilly's ideas, like, oh, we can totally work on that. And he apologizes. And Saru finally realizes that he's a captain and he has to do the captain things. He's not Pike. And, you know, I think this is really Saru's like true test of actually being a captain, because now he's not really the commander, like fight, oh my God, or anything like that. Like, he has other jobs now. He's the captain. I will say one last thing before I like get into it. I really think that I'm excited for next week's episode, mainly because like we're finally going to meet that future Federation, and it seems like a lot of challenges are going to have to happen. But we'll see. Notable mentions from this episode, I will say, let's see. What did I get down? I got out a lot. I'll be honest, this episode kind of, like, I'm not gonna lie, made me understand the difference between like a Trill and what they really were. It turns out the Trill are actually people. It's not that I didn't think they were people. I just thought like if you had the symbiote, you gained the spots. But it turns out you had the spots, you gained the symbiote. Cool. Noted. Word. Hear that. I did appreciate during Adira Tal's whole, you know, communion that a lot of her previous people were Starfleet people. You know, we had a callback to that nice red and black, the TNG era. We love to see that. Also, this is my first time watching a Trill-based episode. I know I've watched most of DS9, but I'll be honest, some of them episodes I skip through, and that's just the truth, because 26 episode television, yikes. And I was not, like I said before, did not watch TNG, but I get the gist of TNG. I watched all the movies. I get it. I understand. Trust me. I know I should probably go back and watch it, but I'm good at the moment. I love seeing Ronnie from Schitt's Creek on there. I was like, wow, work. She looks so good. I also love random 20th century references. I think that is something that Discovery kind of missed. You know, like those it's not that they're like odd, but they kind of are oddly placed. Like random, like, oh, let's call back to the 20th century. I've always thought of them as like odd, like you're in the you're in like the 25th, 24th century, really reckoning back to the 2000s, like in 1960s, like what are you doing? Oh, I really want to know how old Adira is. Like, how old is this girl? I don't know at all. I just can't believe that her and Greg were together like that. I know they were in a relationship, but it just made it seem like they were both older than what they said they were. That could be me just misinterpreting the whole thing a little bit wrong. All Discovery has PTSD. We all know that. I know it's been episodes since I said this, that Burnham is typically right when she's making these decisions, and she is, but like, you know, sometimes it's annoying that she's always right. I'm gonna say it. It's kind of annoying. But for an episode that was really focused on like remembrance and memories and sacrifice and growth and acceptance, I think that it did a really good job of like laying the pipeline down for them to be more of a together, cohesive crew as they go forward and really meet this new federation and who they are. Because from the preview, it looked like they're gonna have some hostility from my dude. I do not know this man's name, but you know, I love him. He's always playing a bad guy though, and I don't know why. You know who I'm talking about if you've seen TV and you've seen the preview. But yeah, I don't know really where this season is going. Like I know that we're supposed to like figure out what happened with the burn. That's kind of the overall mystery, but I'm not entirely sure how they're gonna get there. Because at this point, it seems like we're just getting one episode, we go do that thing. The next episode, we plot for the next. It just doesn't seem like I'm waiting for like that break, because I feel like episode 1 and 2 really break from like a lot of traditional Star Trek fashion. I guess they technically are going back to normal, and it's not really Monster of the Week, but I hope that we don't continue doing this thing of like, let's get the knowledge, go there, have a trouble, get the knowledge, go to the next place, have a trouble. You know, like I don't want that to be like an established pattern, because that's part of the reason why I do like Discovery so much, is because it's never been like just an established pattern. I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much my gist of it. I really think this episode's good. So far, like I said, season 3, time to start, time to shine. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you have anything you want to talk about in the comments, or really just like how do you feel about this episode, love to hear your opinions, and let's talk about it in the comments. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you later. Bye.